Man, today hits different. Today, we lost a real one. Demond Wilson, legendary American actor, author, and cultural icon, has passed away. A man who brought laughter into millions of homes, who carried depth behind every smile, and who left a mark way bigger than television. This isn't just a celebrity story. This is a life story. Demond Wilson was born on October 13th, 1946, in Valdosta, Georgia, and later raised in Harlem, New York City. Growing up in Harlem shaped him the rhythm, the struggle, the hustle, the heart. As a young man, he learned tap dancing, developed stage presence, and found his voice early. But before Hollywood ever called his name, Demond answered another call. He served in the United States Army during the Vietnam War. That experience changed him forever, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. He came back stronger, but different, and that depth would later show in every role he played. Everything changed in 1972. Demond stepped into television history as Lamont Sanford on the hit sitcom Sanford and Son, playing the level-headed son to a loud, stubborn, hilarious father. Demond brought balance, heart, and realism to the show. For 5 seasons, he became a household name. People didn't just watch him, they related to him. Lamont wasn't perfect, he was human, and that's why America loved him. That role cemented Demond Wilson as a TV legend. Behind the scenes, Demond lived a quiet, grounded life. He married Cicely Johnson on May 3rd, 1974, and their marriage stood strong for decades, rare in Hollywood, powerful everywhere. Together, they raised 6 children. Family wasn't just important to Demond, it was everything. Fame never came before home. His kids knew him not as a star, but as a father who showed up. That says a lot. Demond Wilson was never boxed in by fame. He became an author, writing openly about Hollywood, life lessons, and faith. His books reflected honesty, the highs, the lows, and the hard truths about success. Later in life, he stepped away from Hollywood lights and became an ordained minister. Faith guided his lifestyle. He focused on service, community, and spiritual growth. No scandals, no chaos, just purpose. At the time of his passing, Demond Wilson's estimated net worth sat between $1 million and $1.5 million. That wealth came from television, writing, and long-term royalties. He didn't chase excess. He valued stability, meaning, and legacy over flashy headlines. Real success, real life. After the cameras stopped rolling and the applause faded, Demond Wilson didn't chase the noise. He chose peace. While a lot of stars burn out trying to stay relevant, Demond stepped back with intention. Hollywood had given him fame, but life had given him something deeper, clarity. He once said success isn't about staying seen, it's about staying true. Now comes the hardest part. In the middle of this powerful story, the news that shook everyone. On January 30th, 2026, Demond Wilson passed away peacefully at his home in Palm Springs, California, following complications related to cancer. His family shared the news quietly, respectfully. No drama, just love, loss, and remembrance. He was 79 years old. Demond Wilson leaves behind more than memories. He leaves behind television history, literary work, faith leadership, and a family that carries his name forward. He helped shape how Black families were portrayed on screen. He showed strength without arrogance, humor without cruelty, fame without losing himself. That's legacy. Behind the laughs on Sanford and Son, there was pressure, long hours, creative disagreements, the weight of being a role model, whether you asked for it or not. Demond carried that weight quietly. He fought for fair treatment, for dignity, for respect, not just for himself, but for everyone who came after him. That wasn't ego, that was principle. And sometimes, standing on principle costs you opportunities, but it saves your soul. Demond Wilson openly talked about struggling after his military service and Hollywood fame. Trauma doesn't always scream, sometimes it whispers. The war followed him home. The fame magnified everything. Instead of pretending he was fine, he chose healing. Faith became his anchor. Writing became his therapy. Family became his safe place. That honesty helped others realize it's okay to not be okay. When Demond picked up the pen, he didn't sugarcoat nothing. His books weren't fluff. They were raw. He wrote about the reality of fame, the cost of success, the traps of Hollywood, and the power of faith. He told stories that made people uncomfortable because truth usually does. That's not selling stories. That's sharing scars. At a time when people expected him to chase more TV roles, Demond followed a different calling. He became an ordained minister. Not for attention, not for applause. Ask anyone close to Demond Wilson what mattered most to him, and they'll tell you straight up, his kids. 6 children. 6 lives he helped shape. He wasn't perfect, but he was present. He taught discipline without fear, love without conditions, and values that money can't buy. In his house, fame stayed at the door. Inside, he was just dad. Later in life, Demond preferred quiet mornings over red carpets. He enjoyed reading, writing, prayer, long conversations, watching the world move without needing to be in the center of it. No flashy lifestyle, no wild spending, no chasing clout, just a man at peace with his journey. Let's be clear, Demond Wilson helped change television. He played a black man with intelligence, patience, humor, and depth. At a time when stereotypes ran wild, he showed strength without violence, humor without humiliation. That mattered. Young actors saw him and thought, I can be that. Families saw him and thought, that's us. That kind of impact doesn't fade. In his final chapter, Demond Wilson was not alone. He was surrounded by family, by faith, by peace. Cancer may have taken his body, but it never touched his legacy. He lived long enough to see his influence ripple across generations. That's a blessing. When the news broke, the reaction was instant. Fans shared clips. Families rewatched episodes. Social media filled with memories, quotes, laughter, and tears. People didn't just mourn a celebrity. They mourned a part of their childhood. Demond Wilson's life teaches us something powerful. You don't have to stay loud to stay legendary. You don't have to stay famous to stay fulfilled. You don't have to please everyone to live right. Purpose beats popularity, always. So as the curtain closes on this incredible life, remember this. Demond Wilson didn't just play a role. He played it right. A soldier, an actor, a writer, a minister, a husband, a father, a man of conviction. Rest easy, Lamont. Rest easy, Demond. Your voice still echoes. Your legacy still breathes. And your story? It ain't never fading.